Hello, welcome to Lay Back with Betfair. Well, the championships might be over, but the fun is just about to begin. Whitey, as I welcome you in, how are you, mate?
I'm good.
You're good? You're all right?
I'm a little bit tired. I went to the boxing last night.
You did.
And there was an interesting crowd there. Had some fun, but I am ready to rip in. Obviously, looking back last week, quite interesting. A few shorties got knocked off. Straight Aaron and Fireburn weren't able to pick up the leaders. You'll probably have a bit to say about the track later on. Our lays, we're going at 100%, so let's have a look back now.
Cunning Fox has opened at $4.50. I don't want to lay it on a huge drift to $6, $7, but at the opening quote, I'm happy to be against Cunning Fox.
And I am laying in the Congo for the reasons I said. Just a 3-year-old up against the older horses.
Yep. We did put out Big Parade, though.
Yeah, we don't mention that.
No, we have to be 100% transparent. We thought Big Parade was the best of the faves.
And he just continued to shorten. The track was favouring him, and he didn't get the chocolates.
Everything was there. I've actually got some data on that race later that would be pretty interesting. Special K and Cascadian got the job done for the Dolphins, and old mate Ayrton, after all the controversy, your mate Mick Kent didn't text you back, gets a spider bite, bounces back and wins well. But this week we'll hit up Adelaide for a quick smash and grab, and then Caulfield's very rich Vobis races. So lay back, let's do this.
Spot on, mates. Ayrton, are you going to talk about him in the wash-up? Because the money just piled in to him. I haven't ruined anything coming up, have I?
No, I've got nothing.
He was
to
off
say
the map.
Don't really.
They said he'd be surprised if he won, and he was very, very well supported, and he got the chocolates. So good win to them.
Psychology, Tom. Psychology.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the lay bin this week. Yep. You're a bit fired up. You haven't had much sleep. You just told a good story about an Uber driver. What's going on there?
Yeah, I put a few things in the lay bin, Obviously, we have talked about these start times, right, with racing, and they are absolutely taking the P155 right now. Like, they are literally...
One state in particular?
Yeah, 3 to 4 minutes late. That is just... Let's just be transparent about it and give a casual start time. Why don't we? Like, this isn't US racing. Anyway, also in the lay bin this week, I feel deceived.
What is going on here?
I'm shocked. You are one of those Wordle addict nuffies.
Oh, here he is.
You got a new phone and you lost all your Wordle scores.
When you're as good as I am, you want to keep the record, mate. When you're at 100%.
You have hidden this from me. You are a Wordle
just don't tweet about
addict.
it. I'm not one of those people that...
Also in the bin. Yeah, so I was in an Uber a few nights ago.
Yeah.
People that let their phone ring on loud and don't answer it are no good. This Uber driver had the alarm ringtone as his ringtone, and let it ring out in full 4 times whilst I was in the Uber and refused to answer it. I nearly threw his phone into the Albert Park Lake, but he's in the lay bin. What have you got for
Hopefully he's a listener of the show, mate.
He would be.
Hope you gave him your business card. And
yeah.
Rail out 8 metres at Randwick on a big day. It's in the bin. 2 litre-ish. It was an awful track. We saw Cascadian duck up the inside. Not Cascadian. Special K, Kementari, duck up the inside and scrape the paint. It leads to bad racing. It's unattractive, and it's more importantly, it's unsafe. You've got jockeys taking gaps that aren't there. So that's in the bin. It was an awful track. Canterbury on Wednesday as well. That was absolutely in the bin. You got to the last race. It was leader dynamite, and jockeys were going helter-skelter for the front and set it up for back markers, and the back markers would loom 3 or 4 wide in the straight, and they couldn't make ground. So, and the winner comes hard up against the fence again. So tracks have been a joke. There in the lay bin.
Does this show air in New South Wales? I'm looking forward to State of Origin.
You'll be right, mate. No one views anyway. Morphettville, let's get to Morphettville. 2 group race and a listed race at Morphettville. They're heading up ahead of the Carnival. They've got the Goodwood coming up. Good 4, partly cloudy, 22 degrees on Saturday at Morphettville. I can't wait to get stuck into it. Rail's in an interesting position out pretty wide, but we start with the Irwin Stakes. It's a group 3, and I'm throwing to you here. Trekking is the favourite. It's $2.90 on the fixed corporates and $3.20 Betfair, $3.50 to lay. You're with him.
Yeah, I'm going to make the back argument. We need to point out that What's That is dual nommed. So that's a talking point here because it's obviously in the market.
I don't think he runs in Adelaide.
Yeah,
I think he's in Melbourne.
It should happen in Melbourne, but at the moment, doing the form, he's in the market. Trekking's opening quote, like you said, $2.90. In such a small field, especially if Swats that doesn't go, which we're 90% sure it won't.
Yep.
He probably picks himself because he's the class runner of the field. With any luck, 7-year-old Gelding probably finishes second in the $1 million William Reed. No luck in running. Would have ran past Marabi and Generation and the likes in that race, I would have suggested, if the gap just opened in time. James Cummings stable has started to hit some form as well. We saw that last week with a winning strike rate of 19% over the last 100 and a positive ROI. So I think they're red hot. 7-year-old close to $7 million in prize money, this horse. Major knock being it's a while between wins. With without Swats that, in the small field, meeting these at this weight, I think the camp will be very disappointed if he doesn't go mighty close. Last prep, first up ran a bolter in the Concord, went around in the market in the Moya, never saw daylight, running third behind Wild Ruler. So I think that's the form line for this. Best horse in the race. It's just up to him to decide if he wants to keep racing at this top level, but he's a back bet.
He doesn't want to keep racing. Trekking, I'm buying him. I can't have him. He'll be very short once What's That comes out. Now, this horse hasn't been savaging the line. You say he was mighty unlucky last start. Now, I thought he had his chance late, and he just doesn't like going past runners at the moment, and he doesn't run through the line. So that's a huge query for me. He hasn't won since the Goodwood, I think it was, in 2020, so almost 2 years to the day. I think he needs more than 1,100 metres now too. I think they'll be too sharp. He's back in trip. His grand final will be the Goodwood again. And this is just a trial. So I concede he's well weighted, but yeah, I'm against him here. Bella Vella's a smart horse, has been off the scene for a while, tried up really nicely. Instant Celebrity is the other one that I'll be keen to be against or be with against Trekking. So Trekking's a lay for me. We head to race 8, the listed Redelva Stakes for the 3-year-olds, 1,100 metres. Whitey, you're up again here. You are laying BACCHANALIA.
Yeah, I am actually. This is short. This is short. For what we know a few days out, is he actually the best Cummings trained runner in this race? Is my question. It's my main query at the moment. I think this price is wrong. Opening quote, what have we got? 360, 370, 410, 440 on the fair. I'll have to go and find Knox at that price. For starters, the gelding's better with a sting out. Adelaide looks like I think we've got a good 4 at the moment, and the weather doesn't suggest that we're going to be getting a downgrade. So I think he's much better with the sting out. He's had 5 cracks on a good track for a donut. All wins come with the sting out in at the Sydney way of going as well. So I think the second to Marzu on the bottomless track had him over bet here, in my humble. Second to Marzu, but it was a gap. Shohonka was closer to it than it was to Marzu. So last time he came to Melbourne, Direct beat him on a good 4 at Flemington. No data to suggest he's flying. I don't think the numbers are any good. And I think 2 horses here I've already backed, and I'm going to spruik at big odds.
Yep.
Extreme Flight, big improver here, and Cerades. And obviously Heezy, or Heezy, whatever you want to say. Heresy.
Yep. So pronounced about 40 different ways.
Whatever.
This horse. Yep.
Big chances, and you cannot back this horse at $3.60. Lay.
Now, one stat you missed here with Trekking, mate. I know you keen Trekking. Glyn Schofield, good Glyn. Could have been a heading in the Washup. Good Glyn. Since December 1st, he's had 67 rides, 11 winners, 83%, 82.91% profit on turnover, Glyn. So he's going well. He's the man for the job on BACCHANALIA. You mentioned the Mizzou form. That is the right form, surely. Like, that is the top echelon 3-year-old form at the moment, basically.
Continue.
It's Group 2 form. None of these have Group 2 form. Where are you coming from? We've got some awful form outside of Heresy and BACCHANALIA. That's the right form. He was trapped 3 deep on speed, basically, or 3 deep throughout first up, BACCHANALIA. That's a tough ask. I thought he stuck on really well. He'll be fitter for that. 1,100 metres, no issue. And I'm not too keen to dive in, but I can see why he's favourite. And he'll be mighty hard to beat. I think Heresy's the danger there, the stablemate. So
okay.
There you go. Let's head to your wash-up before we get to Caulfield. So what have you got for us in the weekly wash-up, mate?
Weekly Wash-Up. All the fans' favourite segment.
Yeah. Come on.
Headings. Count to nothing.
You're so happy with these
Nothing. 5 horses hit 102 or less in the run and lost on the weekend.
Wow.
Tom? On
That's
on
big.
Saturday, I should say.
Yep.
3 were 101 beats.
Oh, what are they? Do you got them?
2 in the country, but the most notable, Holbein at Caulfield. Max pre-play of $44, hits 101 in the run, goes under.
Wow.
The other big one, though, Count de Rupee at Randwick. Looked home, didn't it? Hits 102, doesn't get there.
Amazing.
Done. Next, Rich Get Richer.
This sounds like you, mate.
Well, Caulfield race 9, son of an emperor. So I thought, he'd be loaded, son of an emperor. Obviously, rich naturally, but now he's flogged everyone's cash. $40 max pre-play, firms, BSPs at $20, scoots out to $150 in the run and runs away with it, gets everybody's cash.
He did. That wasn't pretty. Your next one.
Trading Paradise. Did you know? So that race that we were talking about before.
Count the Rupee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Randwick race 6 that was, so on the weekend, Kementari obviously won. Those 3 in the race, though, all traded deep odds on. Count de Rupee, max 18s into 102.
Wow.
Kementari, max 9s into 107. And then obviously Big Parade was also $1.50 in the run.
Yep.
So
That's
backlay,
amazing.
trade, change the way you bet. It's
Traders
just
paradise.
It's another way to think about your betting, right? People just think that wagering is put your fixed odds bet on. Exchange allows you to do things differently.
Yep.
Betfair Live on Saturday, get it up. If you're backing things at long odds, a good strategy would be to put in short lay traps because everyone knows how much it hurts to get beaten in a photo. So
The amazing thing is you can back horses at big odds, them not win, but still make good money.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean,
which is amazing.
So many horses will trade, like you're backing horses at $12, $13, $14 plus, the amount of them that trade at $3 in the play. So get out at a quarter of the price that you've backed it at. It's a very, very popular play on the fair.
Well, let's head to Caulfield now. We're covering 6 or 7 races. Caulfield, good 4 on Saturday. Rail out 6 metres, partly cloudy, 19 degrees. It'll be a beautiful day out on track. Get out there, Whitey. We head to, it's a rich Vobis day on Saturday. It's actually a good meeting. We head to race 2, the Vobis Gold 1400 metre race. The favourite is Cirillo Miss, and you're with her.
Yeah, I'll make the back argument. I think another race where she picks herself. Staying at 1400, Ollie sticks, good to soft track, all her goes. Found it one of those races where I didn't want to dive into a price that she's opened, 250, 260, 252 to lay on Betfair at the moment, obviously early. Didn't want to dive into that quote, but struggled to really find anything jumping out to beat her. Of the others in the market, Starrell has the figures to do it, but I don't think she's a first up over the 1400 metre type. I reckon it'll be better into the prep over further. Comica ran a PB last start in good form. The main issue here, I know I'm making the backside, but my issue would be if both Cirillo Miss and Comica want to lead them up, they could get in a battle here up front. It allows something to peel off them. I think one of these in the market is going to win, and she's definitely a big chance. Price just a little bit too short for me.
Were you backing her, mate?
Yep.
Jeez,
that was good enough.
I don't need to say anything now. She's drew barrier 3 last start. She draws wide here, which has got to be a query. Comica and Blistering ran good splits and really good rating races last start off wins. So that's the query, as you said, just the tempo. She controlled the tempo at a good speed last start. It was a day that probably favoured up on speed. How Caulfield plays is a question mark as well. But just a bit more pressure here. I can't dive into that price, so I'm against her. You're up again here with TOBAYSURE. You are laying him in the size of the guineas. $3.40 on Betfair. You can lay at $3.70.
Some handy 3-year-old types here in this race, Tom. This price is short enough, though. Visually impressive win at Pakenham last start, where he obviously loves to run there, being the home track. SP'd at very short odds. Both wins to date, he's been short odds at his home track. Obviously loves it down there at Paco. Not sure what to make of this map. I think he wants to be up on speed, but there seems to be quite a few of them that will want to do the same thing. So could be quite tactical up front again. Another race where there wasn't a heap jumping off the page for me, but I actually ended up finding Don Diego on top. I think he's the major Danger. On his debut run, he ran the fastest 800, 600, 400, 200 of the meeting. And last start, he just couldn't quite pick them up at Sandown over 1400. So the 1600 looks perfect for him. I think he's the massive danger. TOBAYSURE will hopefully get cut up on speed. Don Diego will eat him late.
Yes, well, I see the race similar to you with TOBAYSURE, to be honest, mate, but I can see why he's favourite. Now, he's done nothing wrong. He has the speed to put himself in the race. He has an ability to run fast late sectionals, despite leading, which is an amazing asset to have. You can put yourself into the race and lead and then actually run good late splits. He ran the fastest 200 metres of the event last start from on the speed, which is a great effort. His 34.08 final 600 was the second fastest the entire meeting. This is a horse that led. That's pretty impressive. So that is an impressive stat. I can see why he is entitled to be favourite. I agree with you. Don Diego's the horse to beat. Just wasn't a good setup for it last start. It was a race that leaders kicked away. It was a slow tempo. He had the inside barrier. When he was first up on debut, he ran those blistering late sectionals. He drew wide and peeled down the outside and flew home. He gets the same setup here, so I'm with him on top. But you can see why TOBAYSURE is favourite there. Let's head to race 4. Ain't No Deal Done. I am against Ain't No Deal Done. And for these reasons, mate, just the speed's the biggest worry for me in Ain't No Deal Done's race. He gets back. He's third up now. Eureka Street leads, Agnelli and Grand Slam working forward. He's run well finding the line, both runs this time in, but I reckon he'll feel the pinch late here. He's 14-16 straight to 2,000 metres in a slowly run race. I don't think that setup's great for him. His first 2 runs back as well. Fitness is the query for me because they weren't strong run races. They were actually very slow, below benchmark to the 600. So the straight to 2,000 metres fitness, whether he needs this run at the 2,000 metres is the query for me. Grand Slam draws wide, but I don't mind that. Fox Dior comes off a good win in Adelaide, or 2 good wins in Adelaide. Oliver on, got to be a danger. So I just think Ain't No Deal Done for a horse that gets back 2,000 metres, jumps up 400 metres from his last start. A tricky little gates under the odds for me. You're with him?
Yeah. I am. That was a good argument because it's everything that I found as well. I don't know about this. What are we? 290 open fix, 330, 370 on Betfair. Worth mentioning though, it's a very open at the time of recording. I actually Grand Slam second fave by a small margin. I thought it'd be favourite. But anyway,
you need to work on your arguments, mate.
Obviously, he was quite a talented 3-year-old.
I might put you in the lay bin.
Who then went out for a long break and had 2 starts at 1,400 metres and then a mile. This prep, but note that the first up run, the camp came out and put him straight into a Group 3, so they obviously think he's come back quite well, where he was okay, crowded on the fence. Last start, he SP'd at $6 in a benchmark 84 and ran okay, I guess, went 4th to Think and Fly. But the data wasn't great, really. I'm trying to find positives to back him at the price, but I'm struggling. Damian Lane jumps back on, which is a positive. We know he likes a good track. We know he can run further than a mile.
Do it?
Yeah. He's a done deal.
I mentioned the slow tempos in both his runs this time. That's probably been... It's my query regarding fitness, but it's probably been a positive in terms of his actual races. He ran 4th last start and he had no chance. The first 3 in running and finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd. He worked home quite well. So conversely, that's probably a positive, but...
Yeah, I mean, he looks... But the thing is, he looks one of the 2 chances for me, like him and Grand Slam. So there might be a chance, where you could technically back both of them at some point to try and make a profit. I think one of them are drift and one of them are firm, obviously. I think Ain't No Deal Done will drift and Grand Slam will firm. Grand Slam, massive danger, in my opinion. But there are a few ticks there. If the horse, if he's comes back and he's at his best, he can definitely win.
Yep. Let's head to the Gold Dash 1100 metre race. Scissor Step is favourite. Open race this. It's a really good race. I'm backing Scissor Step, $4 on Betfair. You can lay him at $4.10. Whitey, if you're keen to do so. Hot race, really good race. 6 horses under $10, 7 under $12 at the moment. So it's a pretty open race. Scissor Step favourite, about that $4 mark. Now, he returned better than ever last start. He broke through for his first ever fresh win. Let's now bring up the fact he's 2 from 2 for second up. So he improves second up generally. He gets that today. As I said, he rated through the roof last start. It was his best first up run to date. He's proved himself at 1,100 metres. He's proved himself at Caulfield. He's proved himself at 1,100 metres at Caulfield. Huge positives for me. Lane jumps back on. Barrier 1, no issue, I don't think. He might need favours at the right time, but I don't mind that he can settle closer, settle in behind the speed, and he'll be hard to beat. He ticks so many boxes. Arcada's probably in the mix, similar stats at Caulfield, similar 1100 metre stats, good Sydney run, probably the danger, but Scissor Step on top for me.
Nice. Good argument. Like you said, very, very open race. Scissor Step around the 420 mark at the moment. Like you said, 6 runners, though, in single figures. Books don't know what to do, taking no chances, so get on Betfair late.
Who are they coming for, mate?
Well, I don't know, because I'm just as confused as the market, really. Like, when I first looked at it and I saw I was drawing the lay, I was like, happy to do that. Then I looked further into it.
Then you heard my argument.
Yeah, no, well, last start at Caulfield, though, it's gone like a monster.
That was huge. Yep.
Like, it actually was huge, running a big figure and sectionals for the day.
It's the fastest 8.64 and 2 of the day, I think.
Yeah, so it was... When I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, okay. Interesting map. Looks to be some speed on up front here. Jamie goes on Midwest, so I think she's going to try and cross them.
Yep.
I think that actually works in favour of Scissor Step. But if laying, I think you'd have to hope that he's kind of trapped on the rail and doesn't get the running room that you'd like. Actually, a great race. Some very consistent 3-year-olds. My only real knocks, barrier 1 and where he gets to in the run. And... there's just so much, like, there's plenty of talent.
You can make a case of plenty of others.
Exactly. Yeah. There's so much talent in the race. Like, there's chances to 5 or 6 of them, which is what the market says. Yeah, hard horse to lay, only because I think if it gets out to like $4.50, $5, I think that's quite risky. Yep. I could lay him at $3, but I'm not there.
There you go. Well, a horse you are backing, you're sticking to the Tasmanian here. You are very keen about this. The Showdown, 1,200 metre race, another rich race. Bello Bow, I don't know if you backed him last start at Moonee Valley, Whitey, but you would have been hurting. You're a local Tasmanian boy. You're with the Trinder camp here in Bello Bow.
I am. Tasmania, stand up.
Represent.
$1 million kitty here. And Bello Bow opens up $2.40 favourite. Wow-wee. I like him. I want to back him. But,
good.
Gee, that's short.
You got to start making a case for your horses,
just
mate.
Wait.
Come on.
Just wait. Get back in your little Wordle box. That I'm actually shocked that Trinder, though, has stuck with McCool. How's that for some loyalty? He's right on him. Like, we didn't get a lot of luck at Moonee Valley, so we can't knock McCool. He's going all right at the moment, but I just feel like if you could pick any jockey in Melbourne, you know, you've got McCool on. So obviously he knows the whole horse well. Should be unbeaten, this animal. Last start at the Valley was just a trial in the end. Another hard luck story, to be honest. And you say backing, I was actually laying him last start. Like, I was jumping out of a tree to lay him. And all my Tassie mates were like, no, let's back him. And I got very scared there in the run for a little second. But that showed for me that he's up for it. Sometimes when these Tassie horses come over to Melbourne, you got to just see that they can handle it.
You saw him measured up.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Like, Scotty Brutton's brought a few over and tried to go down the Flemington Straight. They just don't handle it. The key here is for McCool to get up front. Last time he handed up and he went back in the field. That is a no-no. If you do that, you're in the lay bin next week. Kick it up and settle on speed, Brendan. Blinkers go on here. And there's been some early specs early.
Early specs early.
Yeah. The boxing's really done me, hasn't it? Sir Bailey, the main danger in the last race. But they went round in the same race at the Valley.
Yeah.
It SP'd at $11. Bello Bow SP'd at $3.80.
Yep.
Both didn't get a heap of luck. Like, obviously, one was very wide. Bello didn't get a chance. But he had heaps of horse left. I like that. Give me $3 plus on the exchange, and I'm backing it.
Well, you're not getting $3 plus on the exchange at the moment, and that's why I'm laying in, mate. It's
close, though. We're close.
Price orientated.
It will drift.
Blinkers on first time. Now, you might see that as a positive, but you say that he should have won last start at Moonee Valley. If he should have won, why are the blinkers going on? That's a real interesting nuance for me. I don't like blinkers on from that barrier either, because blinkers first time, horses have a tendency to miss a start by half length, to be slow. Then he's going to have to bustle up and around him in a high pressure race to settle forward if you want McCool to do that. That's a huge concern for me at the price. Well, he might be half a length slow. He might be half a length slow, which can happen with blinkers first time. It might fire him up. It might have an adverse reaction and effect. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired up. He misses a slot. If he's slightly slowly away here,
You're a
Whitey.
horse psychologist now.
Yes, mate.
What are you talking
I've watched
about?
enough racing.
What is this dribbling?
If he misses a start half a length or is slightly slowly away, McCall's going to have to urge him along to find a position, and I reckon he'll overdo it. So that's a huge concern for me at the price.
Yep.
Sir Bailey was trapped deep as well, don't forget, last start. Like, covered a lot of ground and only SP'd $11 because of that last run where he was too bad to be true. He had issues and was well beaten at Flemington, but he did start $4.80 in a Group 2 the start prize. So SP's not relevant in my opinion. Price orientated, I'm laying Bellow Bow up to about that $3.50 mark. I can make a case for a couple of horses here. Promises kept, big odds. 91s into 40s around that mark. Blinker's first time for him. Drawn perfectly, barrier 5, trialled up superbly either side of that failure first up. Will improve dramatically. And Verlander as well as one that can settle on speed. Can make a case for Verlander.
Last time you declared a $61 pop, didn't run a drum. You called it immoral.
Settle down. All right, let's head.
Good argument. One thing we spoke about off air before is just with the Moonee Valley stuff, like the form, and how like Moonee Valley form has plenty of hard luck stories. So it's how you decipher those hard luck stories, like because it happens so often, it happens so frequent, it's always going to happen, right?
And are they overbet coming from it as
and
well?
And then they get overbet because it looked like a black book run, but. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to play that out.
Completely different setup for Bellow Bow here. I agree with you. I think he's overbet, to be honest. I think he's too short because of that unlucky run.
I think it'll drift. I think we're getting that price you mentioned, the $3.50 you're happy to lay to. I think we'll get it.
Yep, there you go. Let's head to race 7, the Gold Sprint 1,200 metres. Now, we mentioned Swats that in at Adelaide. Now, she's here, Whitey, and I'm with her. What's she done wrong? She's flying. She's trialled since the Newmarket, where she ran very well in the Newmarket. She's trialled since, was enormous. Interestingly in that, and I don't know if you picked up on this, she trialled since the Newmarket but had blinkers on. Not running in the blinkers today, which is really bizarre. I don't know what the course and stable are doing there, but she was very good in that trial. She's the highest rated horse in this race, 107 handicap rated. Third up now, Ready to Peak. I just think she's absolutely airborne. There's not much in the race. We know Shelby 66 is coming over. He's a wet tracker, pulled up sore last start. Couldn't be confident with him on a firmer footing. But Swats that for me. She's the horse to beat. She's flying. There's no Newmarket horses here aside from the astrologist that she went past.
No, you're right. One of my faves, this horse, for absolutely no reason either. I black booked it. Its first start, hoping that it'd go on and be a star. She's run some super races. But Tom, she's a massive flirt.
We like them.
But this is it though. This is the race.
Yep.
This is the race.
She doesn't win here, you're sacking her?
Yeah. 55 kegs against this lot with Oliver on board. She has to be winning this race, Tom. You've got to go back a long way to find a win. Like I said, flirtatious runs, some big runs against some good sprinting types. Interesting that her best runs though have been down the big Flemington Straight, I think. So I'm not sure going to Caulfield here is a positive. Map's a bit tricky. Can be known to get herself in some trouble. Another race, though, where there's nothing really jumping out and saying, I can beat her, apart from, maybe the astrologist. We have to jump off Shelby. I think Shelby needs the paddock, to be honest.
Yep.
I don't know really why it's here, but good luck to the connections.
Is there any danger they could spell him?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I was just thinking it's spell.
You need a spell, mate.
Yeah, Swats that up to her eyeballs in this race, but there are a few queries. But what price do you think's fair? Because average odds $3, $3.30, $3.70 on Betfair. If it drifts anywhere near $4, I think they'll pile in.
Yep, no, I agree. I think she's the horse to beat. 330's about right. I'll be having something on her at that price. Let's head to the last race. We are covering the Gold Mile, the Vobis Gold Mile, $250,000 race over the mile, as the name suggests. Number 3, Junipal is favourite, and you are with him.
Yes, mate. Opened up $4, $4.55 on the exchange. He's going better than the form guide reads here, I think. Trialled well this prep leading in. Went first up at Flemington and listed. Pre-race incident, passed fit at the barriers. got crowded for room there and really worked well over 1,400, I thought, and ran good sectionals to show that he was back in some good shape. Last start in the Group 3, I think we just forgive, galloped on, I believe. Yep. If the 6-year-old finds his best, I think he'll be in this a long way. Up to the mile now, down in class. The drop to 57, Johnny's sticking. I can see why it's popular in the market for sure. This is a horse who SP'd at $4 in a tool rack, then went first up into tool rack, and then went first up into the George Ryder after a long layup. I think the market will tell the story, Tom, but I certainly wouldn't be laying him at that price.
Well, I don't know how you can back this horse off a nice of 13th, beaten 6.6. I know he got galloped on, but he had every chance there. He's a hard horse to trust. Agree, his best is good enough. He's 40 days between runs from 2 1,400-metre runs up to the mile now. So that's got to be a query for fitness. He's had that bad run at Flemington, 40 days between runs and up to a mile. Now, the mile used to stable, probably the stable you could trust doing it, but...
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
As favourite, he's in the mix. His best is good enough. I just want to see it before I can dive in as favourite. Umgawa's win last start, rated through the roof, was held up. That was a very high rating win. Ran fast time. Della Moore was another that rated well last start. So, there's not a huge amount that can beat him. If he turns up at his best, he probably wins. But just want to see him do it before I can back him. Let's head to the wrap-up, mate. Let's finish it up. Let's head to the best bets, best lays. We're going for 15, maybe 16. I've got 2 lays in a row. So, huge effort. We've done 13 favourites that have been beaten in a row on these shows. What are you backing and laying this week?
How good have my last 2 been, though?
Oh, gosh.
They've drifted like $4.50 out to $9 and
got
ran
beaten
within a length. That's what it's all about. I love the adrenaline.
I'm gonna give you my best bet first because you just copied me this morning.
No,
here.
I didn't, mate. You heard my argument. My best bet is Caulfield Race 3 Don Diego. I know, mate, there isn't enough characters left in this box for the amount of horses you've put in here.
Got a few winners for the listeners, mate.
You could absolutely strip here. You've got like 8 horses.
I'm just providing something. Let's not giving something. You've just turned up and done nothing.
Race 3 Don Diego for me is the best bet. I also gave chances over there in Adelaide to some big odds things, Extreme Flight and Ceredes. I thought they'd run big races at big odds. They're both near $20. Lay, I'm scared. I'm a little bit scared.
I'm crapping myself about these lays this week.
The pressure's on. Boys are over here staring at us, just like jobs are on the line here. Morphettville Race 8, BACCHANALIA. I'm laying it.
Yeah, right.
Price too short for me, Tom. I think much better, like I argued with the Sting Out and the Sydney Way of Going. Yeah, I think a couple of others will firm. $4 mark at the moment is where I'm at. I'm not laying at $6. But it's the lay for me.
Fair enough. We'll race 8, BACCHANALIA for Whitey's best lay. My best bet, I had it in the spreadsheet first, and Whitey's just copied me. Don Diego, enormous first up, ran exceptional sectionals for the day on debut. It's a huge performance. I got a lot of time for him. I didn't like the setup. Second up, he still ran really well. Good late splits in a race dominated by Up on Speed. I don't mind the white barrier. He'll get back. He'll run on. There's enough pressure on for him, and he'll look very hard to beat. You might get a better price in play as well with Don Diego. My lay comes up in the same race. TOBAYSURE, too short for me. TOBAYSURE. Daniel Moore on Philip Stokes, but I think he's too short. He'll lead more pressure here, so I'm against TOBAYSURE.
When did you get funny?
Bellow Bow is the other lay. I'm laying Bellow Bow. I'm really concerned about the barrier. Brendan McCall, Blinker's first time worries me. So I think he's
put a price cap on it.
I think he's too short. $3.50. I will lay him at or up to. I can back him anything over $3.50, but $2.90 at the moment is way too short for me. Bellow Bow. I think that's all we got time for, mate. Go home and have a nap.
You had a lot of bets.
Let's talk about my other bets.
No, we don't have time for
Race
that.
6, number 7, Promises Kept, huge price. Have something each way, Promises Kept. Race 7, number 1, Mr. Hustle on the quick backup from a run wide last week. Had no chance. Backing up, hard to beat. Race 3, number 1. And race 5, number 2, ZARASTRO. Spell, J-Mac on, hard to beat. So
I see what you did there. Back 4 horses, so if your 2 lays go down, you'll be able to claim.
Might be a complete strip out, mate. That's me done. I might not turn up next week. Can't wait to do it next week. And thanks for joining us on Layback with Betfair.
Go well.
Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.